how do you renew your permanent resident card?
One of the most frequent questions I get is how to renew your permanent resident card. So in Canada, once you become a permanent resident, since 2004, you will be able to get the permanent resident card. So this is a new system, so it's been about 12 years, I suppose. So what it does is every 5 years you have to renew this. But let me back up 1 second. Permanent resident card is to allow you to enter into Canada as a permanent resident. This sounds really weird, but instead of you showing all the paperwork, this card basically letting the custom officer at the airport or port of entry, I'm a permanent resident, I'm entering in. So they don't have to examine you all over again. So it's to facilitate a speedy processing at the entry level. Now the problem is that over the years, the provincial governments is started using this as identification. So what happens is if you want to renew your health card, if you want to renew your driver license, if you want to do any kind of the identification, provincial government started asking, where is your permanent resident card? So if you become a permanent resident in 1980s and never bothered to receive your Canadian citizenship so far, you're getting a letter from your health services and Ontario Health departments that, hey, renew your health card. By the way, one of the documents you need to bring is your permanent resident card. So this is where it's not an intended usage of a permanent resident card, but that's where we are. Now, every 5 years you have to renew. So the day you file this application, you have to show last 5 years from that day, you have resided in Canada minimum 2 years, 730 days. If you do not meet that, they're not going to renew. In fact, that there's a possibility they will take your permanent resident status away from you. So before you file, if you don't think you have 2 years, I recommend you to seek legal assistance before you actually file it. Once you file the application, immigration already know about everything. So once you file the application, you basically open yourself to say, immigration, please examine me, ask me all the questions, and you cannot meet your qualification, you're getting into trouble. So I would recommend that you plan again in advance. But I don't think that I want to recommend you this also. You have to do this early. It used to be about 30 to 60 days to renew this card. Right now it takes about 6 months. So if your card is to be expired next 6 months, I'd recommend you to file as soon as possible. Now another thing is that if you are going off the beautiful cruise somewhere and your card is expiring, you may ask for the expedited service. However, if you knew about the cruise trip for 3 months and you are filing at the last minute, they are not going to be kind to you. So just to be aware of that, okay? So if you're also from a country that requiring an entry visa to Canada, like India, and your permanent resident card was expired without knowing, it does happen, okay? Then what you have to do is you have to go to the closest embassy of Canada in your location. So it could be India, it could be Pakistan, it could be New Zealand, wherever you are. And you have to apply for the traveling documents, re-enter into Canada. So in order to do that, they will ask you, have you been residing in Canada at least 2 years, last 5 years? They will ask that examination. So just to be aware of that. In all, I really recommend you to be prepared, have the card in your hand before you leave Canada. But if, like one of my friends called me at 11 o'clock at night before he's leaving for his home country next day and said, oops, Jennifer, mine expired, what do? I cannot cancel anything. Then there is other options you can do. So if you are in that situation, do ask me or any competent professionals to make sure you are secure and safe, okay? Thanks.